Okay, so this is October now, and I am in bed. It is 7:46. I just got off work at 7 o'clock, so I just got home, got settled down and stuff. And for those of you who are friends with me on my Facebook and stuff, um, you know that I said that I was gonna try and do a veto. Since I didn't get on either one of the two Vitas, the Vita in April, um, I just couldn't get into it. I was making videos more regular then, but April was at the same time that I started my new job at the hotel, and so I just wasn't having a lot of time for it. Um, and then in August, um, there just wasn't anything going on in August. I had had a chemical pregnancy in July, and August, we took a month off. Like, I'm so much so a month off that there was no BDing in August at all. Like, it was that much of a month off. Um, but I am back in full force, um, and I I, I want to claim this month. Um, Part of what makes me, set on claiming it, um, back in April, I had had a TTC reading done by Sherry, and what she predicted in my reading, because I got one of the bigger readings, um, I think it was the second from her top reading, um, and in that it included like the family reading where I could get predictions of any kids that she was seeing. And what she predicted with kids, um, what she was seeing at that time were two boys. The first connected to July, which since my reading was in August, it meant that we would either conceive or find out we were pregnant in July of this year, or we would be delivering in July of next year. And then she saw a boy related to May, which means we would either um, find out we were pregnant or actually conceive in May of 2013, or we will be delivering a boy in 2014. Well, then July we had the chemical pregnancy, and so I was kind of like, wow, I wonder if that was, you know, the July pregnancy that she predicted for me. Well, in September, my birthday was September 6th, I got an email to do a free birthday reading. And it could be, any like one question that she would go ahead and answer. And so what I went ahead and did was ask for an update on my previous reading since I had had a previous reading done. And basically I said that, I was more than 90% sure that I had had a chemical pregnancy in July and was curious if that if that chemical pregnancy altered the reading from what she had seen before in April. And she got back to me within about 48 hours or so, saying that in fact my reading was a little bit different. She said that she was still seeing the same boy that she saw before, but she was seeing the boy connected to October now. And um, so, you think about it. Um, if I were to get pregnant in July, we would have delivered in what, like March, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Would have been like April, May, baby. Um, but to have a July baby, we would have to get pregnant in October. Um, so the fact that she was seeing a boy related to July before, and now with the reading I got for my birthday, she's seeing the same boy-related October, it could still be the same pregnancy. But now she's seeing the month that I would conceive or deliver, more likely. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. So like, I'm really, really hopeful that this cycle could really work. I mean, there's a lot of people that said they've found truth in the readings that they've gotten, and although I'm a religious person and everything else, I do believe that God does give gifts like that to people. And um, obviously, I'm not going to, you know, stake all my hopes in it and everything else. Um, but it is something that's in the back of my mind, and I am really hopeful for it. Um, so for this month, and a lot of what's going on isn't really different. Um, I bought a bulk of some Wanfo um, HPTs and OPKs. It was 50 OPKs and 20 HPTs in the package of just the Wanfo test strips off of Amazon, and I think I paid like $25 for them. So 60, 70 tests between the two for $25. So I have those. Right now, I am, let me look, I am cycle day 5, and I still got AF, um, but soon as she is gone, I plan to start using my OPKs. I'm not going to wait, a week till, a fertile window should be there. I'm going to start testing right away, and I plan to continue to take one test a day of my OPKs until I see a line start to develop. And once I see a line start to develop, then I'll take 2 tests that day and continue that until I catch my positive. Um, we also have soft cups, which we've been using since June, July time frame, and we just use those after sex. And then I have my little box here, um, which is just my little container that has my BBT temperature, or my BBT thermometer, excuse me, and I do take vaginal temps. I'm not taking them right now just because, like, I did like the first month or so that I was doing vaginal temping, um, but like I just wait until I'm done with Amplo because it's ugly, messy nastiness. Um, and then I have my AviQ fertility monitor, which is the oral monitor, and in our Crown Royal bag, I have the vaginal monitor for my AviQ. And with the AviQ, usually you want to start taking the oral readings, I want to say between like the 3rd and 5th day. So tonight or later this afternoon when I wake up, I'll probably take my first reading for this cycle, and then in a couple of days when Amplo is gone, I'll start my vaginal readings. And I continue on my AviQ most of the time until I get my confirmed ovulation. When I first got it, I would continue to take readings afterwards, but my readings were so rocky that it was just really hard to do. Like, after I would get my ovulation confirmation on my OviQ, um, the fertile windows would start going down, and then all of a sudden, um, I would end up um, getting a purple box, which would give me fertile monitors again, and technically would, insinuate that there was a second ovulation, or that I had actually ovulated later, that I just had a high fluctuation in my, readings and stuff. And from the interpretation that I was getting from Sarah on the OviQ, the Ovograph site, from her interpreting my graphs, she thought that, my graph looked quite similar to a lot of women who have like PCOS. And considering my weight and a lot of the symptoms that I've had and the issues that we've had over the last couple of years, that have been things that I've started noticing more since we've been trying to have a baby. Um, there are a lot of signs that point to that being the problem. My husband and I have not sought out medical intervention yet. There was some blood testing and everything that we got done um, in 2009 before we started, just to make sure that, everything was in mix, since the last pregnancy I had prior to that was in 2006 and had been a miscarriage. So I just wanted to make sure that, there weren't any hormonal balances that could, possibly throw anything off at that time. And at that time, my doctor wasn't detecting anything. So we were pretty much given the okay at that time to go ahead. And so we've just gone from there. And it kind of started with, we're not preventing, but we weren't actively trying, just kind of waiting for it to happen when it happened. And after about 6 to 9 months of that, I started getting worried, because I'm like, wow, usually it doesn't take very long for, me to wait for this to happen. Um, and so I started looking into different natural things that we could do in order to help. And that's when I had started temping back then a little bit. Wasn't really familiar with it, but I wasn't as knowledgeable and didn't know that like a community like this exists back then. Um, and so it's just been, a lot of trial and error since then, and mostly just us basically trying to burn all the bridges that we possibly can before we seek out the help of a doctor, so that when we have to walk into a doctor's office and we have to spend that extra money for that extra attention, we can get answers right away. Not get a whole bunch of hemming and hawing and wasting money for them to tell us, well, it's not this, and well, it's not that, and you should try this. No, by the time we go in there, we will have tried everything we possibly can, so it's time to just get down to business and either get meds, injections, whatever we need to do what we need to do. I just basically want to make sure that that's our very, very last resort. Um, so with the AviQ, that's one of the things that was one of our last resort pieces. Um, and like, I think we're doing pretty good otherwise. Like, um, I am um, taking a lot of vitamins as well. So we've got the AviQ, we've got the BBT thermometer, all in my little, fertility box. We got my soft cups, which some of you may or may not know. That there, that is the soft cup, and I mean, obviously you can see what it is in relation to her hand and stuff. This clear part right here, the actual like cup part dome, is like a soft silicone type of material, but basically like you just insert it into your vagina, after sex, and it kind of helps scoop up your partner's ejaculate and kind of hold it there. I know that's all TMI, but it just makes it so that you don't have to worry about anything running out or losing any valuable, baby gold or anything. Um, it you know keeps it there, and it actually that cup fits like pretty much right around the cervix, and so it actually holds it like right there at the cervix, so that it is pulled in the optimal place for it to be the most effective, obviously. So then we've got the vitamins, which my prenatals and my folic acid are vitamins that I've been taking. Um, the prenatals I've been taking for probably more than a year, and the folic acid has been almost exactly as long. And then since we started TTCing, um, I added Super B complex to it first. Well, first I added the B complex, and then I upgraded to the Super B about a month and a half ago now. When I ran out of my regular B complex, I upgraded to this. And at the time that I added the Super B complex, I added vitamin D3 in 5,000 IUs. Um, and this was at the suggestion of another mommy in waiting, um, because I had asked advice about what could have been causing some of my heavy flow, um, my extreme clotting, like, I mean, out of this world clotting. I had clotting every single cycle that was reminiscent of the kind of clots that I passed during my miscarriages. Um, but yet I knew that I wasn't having miscarriages and stuff. But I mean, just craziness, and then like the cramping and a lot of pain that I was having during intercourse, and just like internal pain. And one of the mommies suggested that a lot of that could be related to fibroids. And so, since we haven't sought medical attention yet, and we're trying to keep from doing that until the end of the year at least, we're making this our last year to do it without medical intervention. I started looking and seeing what things I could do um, that are good for treating fibroids without having the diagnosis of fibroids, that were still safe to do regardless of whether or not that truly was my case. And vitamin D3 was one of the things, and they said that it had to be in a high content. I take 2 of these a day, so I get 10,000 IUs a day. Um, and so those, actually, when I started them, um, that first cycle after that, clotting gone, cramps pretty much non-existent, flow normal, like, I mean, it pretty much cured everything right off the bat. And I mean, I hadn't been on it maybe 2 weeks before I started a new cycle. So I mean, it was pretty much instantaneous of the kind of benefits and you know, ac- you know, positive results it gave me. And also with the B complex and the vitamin D, I got vitamin C, and it's just a 500 milligram. It was just like the highest one that I could get in a large bottle and stuff. And then a couple weeks later, after the vitamin D, I got evening premise oil and also got flaxseed oil, which flaxseed oil is really kind of the same thing. It's still an omega-3 fatty acid. Um, evening premise oil is just more catered to women's health, and the flaxseed oil is just kind of overall. And the reason why I got the two is because evening premise oil, you're only supposed to take it from cycle day 1 until ovulation confirmation. Once you confirmed ovulation, you're supposed to stop taking it, and switch to flaxseed because it's believed that evening premise oil can cause uterine contractions, which obviously when you're trying to get pregnant, if an egg has been fertilized and you're having uterine contractions, that's going to make it really, really hard for an egg to implant. So you got to quit taking the evening premise oil so that if, an egg is fertilized, it can be able to plant in a healthy, calm uterus. And then the last thing I got was at the same time that I got my OBKs and my HPTs, I got an inositol. And inositol it says it's a mood enhancer, um, but it's just explain it. Um, like it's it's to help your body better utilize your insulin, basically, and balance hormones and stuff. So I'll go ahead and show you the vitamins and stuff. I've shown you the bottles and stuff. This is my inositol. It's not a big pill at all. It's not bad to take. It is a powder capsule. Um, I'm not going to open it obviously, but it's kind of hard to see because, cam lighting sound wonderful in my bedroom and stuff. But it's just a powder capsule. Um, and on the bottle, it says that high doses of inositol can cause diarrhea in some individuals. I haven't really had any problem. It's not been bad. Um, but it seems to be helping my mood. I am usually a pretty bitchy person. And although I am still a bitchy person, I think it's more just part of my personality and not so much just pure hormonal imbalance irritability. I think it's pretty much actually taking care of that. The vitamin D, like I said, I take 2 of these a day, and they are these itty bitty teeny tiny gel caps. They are like the tiniest vitamin, and they're just little gel tabs. They're soft, squishy, oil type filled caps. Nothing to them. Evening premise oil and flaxseed. Both of these pills are the same size. The only difference in them is these are real like honey colored, and the flaxseed oil ones are like the color of like a dark maple syrup. So that's like the only difference in them, but the size is the same. They're both the gel tabs like this. They're still, even though they're big, they're still pretty easy to swallow because of the fact that they're gel tabs. So they're not bad. My Super B complex. The first B vitamin I had was a little bit bigger than this vitamin, but these are really small too. They're not bad to swallow. The only problem I have sometimes if I throw them too far back, because I have my tongue pierced for one, but I do have a hard time and stuff swallowing pills sometimes. And I mean, as much pills as I swallow and stuff, it seems like it's getting harder and harder for me because of the fact that I take so many vitamins every day now. But I mean, the only problem I have is if I do throw them too far back into my back of my throat, I taste them and it makes me nauseous. But like the vitamin itself, I don't have any side effects once it's in my system, other than like energy basically. And usually when I throw the vitamin B down my throat, I throw my folic acid in at the same time. I take both of them together. And it's not for any particular reason. I mean, I take all of my vitamins at the same time. I just usually one or two pills at a time. I take both of my vitamin D together, throw them in my mouth, swallow them at the same time. I take the flaxseed oil, the permanent premise oil, both by themselves, just one at a time. Yeah, the inositol I take it by itself. This is my folic acid pill though. It's just a little tiny tab. It looks like an aspirin tab really. It's just folic acid. It's only 400 mcgs, so it's not a real big one, but it's just enough. And then the prenatal vitamin is like any prenatal vitamin. It's not real small, but it's not like it's a horse pill. I don't think it's quite as big as most multivitamins, but it still is kind of a chunky pill. Um, and then my last one is my vitamin C, and these are just chewable tabs, and they're not bad. There's like 3 different flavors. This one happens to be like an orange color. I think it's like the melon flavored one or something. Um, it's got orange, watermelon, lemon, lime, and tropical fruit. Um, the yellow one is my least favorite, so that's the one that I pick out and eat every night because I just want to get them done and over with. I want to be able to, once I'm out of the yellow, once I'm out of the yellow, be able to enjoy the rest of them because all the rest of the colors are actually pretty pretty good. I just don't like the tropical fruit one because it's got like a coconut in it or something, and I don't like coconut. So that is all my vitamins. That's my daily regimen. Um, and yeah, this video got a lot longer than I wanted. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully doing this run up and catching everything up and stuff shouldn't be too bad. And if I can do this, vlog every day in October, um, I think it'd be good. Uh, I know it's not something that like everybody's getting onto or anything like that. At least as far as I know, it's not. Um, but I figured since I didn't get in on the April and August one, and October's the only other month with a vowel, with that starts with a vowel. I figured, hey, maybe I'd start something new. So that is me. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and close this up and lay down and go to sleep because I just worked a third shift and it's bedtime for me. So, yes, I know this would technically be going up for October 2nd, and I probably won't record another video for tonight. So this will probably be, my first video, but the second day. So I guess I'm kind of already getting off to a bad start. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be alright. So take care, ladies, and we will keep you posted. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.